Sight Matters, that's what we're calling this segment, which we kicked off yesterday, where we take a look at the visual impaired and the blind and provide tips, which is something that happens every week, sometimes at the Mount Hope Medical Sciences Complex and at the Port of Spain General Complex, spearheaded by, we call her Grammar Genie, Janesta Agard. And what she's done is organize a week of the persons who would visit these clinics to help bring light and information and pertinent information at that to the blind in a spirit of love, as she likes to say. So with us this morning, we have Sarah Ramsuris, who's pharmacist 1 at iPharmacy. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Chris Rajnarayan Singh, senior pharmacist at the Northwest Regional Authority. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program, and so good to have you. So we're talking about the role of the clinic and the pharmacist with regard to persons who are visually impaired to help make their life a little easier. What are we jumping off with?
Okay, well, let me say good morning and thanks for having me this morning. And I want to say thanks for the Northwest Regional Health Authority and Ms. Janesta Agard for putting this together to get us here. What we will do basically is share some basic drug information with customers and patients associated with Northwest so that they would be better able to use their medicine and get maximum benefit. Some of the areas we would look at is the need to visit the clinics and adhere to your appointments. Sarah would speak more about the medication issues and some of the different types of medication that they use
and
in treatment.
Why is it important for persons who are visually impaired to visit their clinics regularly?
Okay, well, it's just to maintain and to manage the condition so that it doesn't get worse, but it is under control and they could be more focused with their medicine.
And in terms of just the will, sometimes people, you know, they think that, oh my gosh, I don't want to get out of bed, I just lost my eyesight, or I'm partially lost my sight. Why, you know, how can you speak to someone like that who has to really make the effort to go to whether it's Port of Spain or Mount Hope to visit the clinics?
Most of them, they have a caregiver who accompanies them. In the case of Ms. Agard, for instance, I work with her. And we speak to them both, the caregiver and the patient, and they understand and we explain things to them. So the convenience of St. James deals with a catchment area in Port of Spain and surrounding areas. Mount Hope more helps for the eastern central areas. So you try to create the access whereby they could be limited in terms of, you know, they're not inconvenient, so to speak.
So clinics exist in all parts of the country, south and in all the hospitals?
Most of them, you have
centers?
in Northwest, you have St. James, you have a limited service at Oxford Street and Sava Health Centers. Mount Hope has another eye clinic, and I believe Sani Grande.
In terms of the medication, Sarah, how important is it for persons to stick to the regimen?
It's very important for patients to stick to their regimen, and that's one of the key functions of the pharmacist's role within our pharmacy. So basically, our main function is patient counseling, and that's a big role that I play at iPharmacy. So we basically help patients to follow their regimen with their eye drops that would have been prescribed by the doctor. So I tend to kind of follow a routine, 5 points to be specific. We give the patients the dosage or the medication at the correct time, in the correct strength, via the correct route, to the right person into the correct eye. So I tend to follow that routine. We look at the prescription, make sure that there are all the requirements on the prescription with respect to its validity in order for that prescription to be filled.
In terms of the expiry date as well, or the
the
dosage?
validity, both the dosage, the validity of the prescription itself.
Right.
Expiration dates, we do that as a backstock.
Okay.
So we check that on a day-to-day basis. We don't wait for that to come to front.
But you assist with the administration of the medication into the eye, or you just coach them on how to do it?
No, we coach them on how to do it. So we give them the proper techniques and how to follow for the aseptic techniques for the proper administration of the eye drops and eye ointments. We give them tips, versus some of them may have many drops and different eye ointments. So we give them tips in terms of they'll fill the eye drops first versus the eye ointments. And you know, we give them other little tips in how to keep it sterile, how to maintain any kind of antibiotic resistance to any of the different things that they may be using.
So you would encourage persons who are visually impaired to visit both the clinic as well as their pharmacist on a regular basis?
On a regular basis. Once they visit the doctor, they most times would be visiting the pharmacist at the same time, because they would have been updated with a new prescription that would have their updated dosage regimens, and therefore we would follow and give them better information. So they may come to us and they may not even realize that their prescription would have changed. And that is when we would have to counsel them now and say, no, it has changed. It's no longer this medication you're on, but you're on this one.
Right.
So we tend to, get that first-hand experience with them a little more in-depth as they would have with the doctor. And most times they'll ask us some stuff that they wouldn't even ask the doctor. And then we might have to go speak to the doctor as well and say, hey, they didn't really understand this too well. Could we go a little more in-depth with them? Or, we find out the information, carry it back to them.
Do you also work with the caregivers?
We work with the caregivers as well, because most times the disabled population, the elderly population, isn't able to physically come themselves to collect their medication. So therefore, the caregivers would have to come to collect such, and therefore we would explain the regimens to them. We would ask them how do they help assist with respect to the administration of the eye drops, and we will give them the verbal requirements of how to do such.
Okay. And with from time to time, with the Northwest Regional Health Authority go out into the communities and do clinics and checks and tests and so in communities?
Well, they have that ongoing right now. They have the home visits with the DHVs. They have the school health program and things like that. And I think in the recent past, they had things with on the promenade, health on the promenade.
Yes.
So those things would attract, and then they would refer them to places like where Sarah works.
Right. And it's important that persons who are visually impaired take advantage of these opportunities, and even persons who may not be completely blind but getting a little inkling to go and get tested.
So nipping it at its bud is more something that you want to do in any event. Nip it at its bud. So we encourage patients, whether you're a part of the clinic or not, even the caregivers, go have an eye test done, go to your optometrist or so, get the eye test done, see your doctor, your ophthalmologist, and then see if there's the need to get a referral to join the clinic.
That's a wonderful note for us to wrap on. Go get your eye test done, as I also have to do from time to time. And Carrie, I think you have 20/20 vision, right?
Fortunately, yes.
I knew it. How did I know that? Well, you are very blessed.
Very, very blessed.
Very
I'm the only one
blessed.
in my family that has my 20/20 vision. I don't need glasses or corrective lenses of any sort. So I'm very blessed and very lucky.
That's probably because you are just the all-round Carrie,
He probably
right?
has good lifestyle habits too, you never
I was
know.
going to say that. But I just wanted to, give him a little props there. But he does have good lifestyle habits because he hikes and he works out, he goes to the gym, he eats well. That's Carrie. That's our very own Carrie. All right, so I want to thank you very much, Sarah Ramsares, pharmacist at iPharmacy, pharmacist 1 at iPharmacy, and Chris Rajnarayan Singh, senior pharmacist at the Northwest Regional Health Authority. Thank you for us so much for coming on the program, and thank you very much to Janesta Agard, Grammar Genie, as we like to call her, for setting this up. And we continue every day this week, and we're calling the segment Sight Matters because it does. We're taking a few messages. Come right back.